Hello, and welcome to the Feeling Good podcast, where you can learn powerful techniques to change the way you feel. I am your host, Dr. Rhonda and joining me here in the Murrieta studio is Dr. David Burns. Dr. Burns is a pioneer in the development of cognitive behavioral therapy and the creator of the new team therapy. He is the author of Feeling Good, which has sold over 5 million copies in the United States and has been translated into over 30 languages. His latest book, Feeling Great, contains powerful new techniques that make rapid recovery possible for many people struggling with depression and anxiety. Dr. Burns is currently an emeritus adjunct professor of clinical psychiatry at Stanford University School of Medicine.
Hello, Rhonda. I don't know where we're going on the crazy hellos, because some people protested and then other people protested when we stopped. But that's it for today, at any rate.
Okay. That was the voice of David Burns. So this must be the Feeling Good podcast. And I'd like to welcome all of our listeners. This is episode 473. And we have our beloved Matt May with us because it's an Ask David method.
Thanks, Rhonda. It's great to be back with you and David. Looking forward to it.
Nice. So I thought I'd start off with an endorsement that Patty sent us. And she wrote, "Hi, David. I've been with you since your first podcast. At first I thought, why doesn't he just give these people the answer and move them along? It wasn't until the podcast with Marilyn that I started to get it. I cried after some of those sessions, realizing what Marilyn was going through. So let me tell you that these podcasts have and continue to be transformative. I've listened to some of them more than a dozen times. They've helped me become a better person and I learn or relearn something every time I listen. Thank you for this life work you've given me and so many others. Patty."
Well, thank you, Patty. And that was David and Matt working with Marilyn. And it was an experience I'll never forget either. And you were really awesome on that session, Matt. I remember when Marilyn said she was afraid of pain, I spaced out and didn't know what to say. And then you jumped in with a very simple question, and all of a sudden it was a non-issue. I don't know if you remember that.
I think your memory's better than mine on that one. I hope I said something really fantastic.
Well, it was pretty simple. You just said, "Have you ever been in pain before, and how did you do?"
Okay, yeah.
So something like that, and then turned out she's always been able to handle pain really, really well. But there were so many awesome things. We were going to make a kind of a special podcast or something again out of it, and even hired this expert in audio voice recordings, but and put a lot of energy into it. But toward the end, we decided that the woman we'd hired was telling her story, not the story we wanted to have told, so we quit. But it was a beautiful experience. And Marilyn said, after I'm gone, please tell people about me so they won't think I was, completely bad or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I talk to Marilyn every day and to Obi every day when I go out for my daily walk.
Yeah, Marilyn was always front and center in every class that I taught that she attended. And she's still front and center in my mind as just a beautiful soul. I'm really glad that we got to spend that time with her, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what a gift the three of you gave to all of the listeners. That will live on forever.
Can you see what number podcast that was in case someone want to look it up on my website on the list of podcasts and click on it? I think it's a tremendous episode.
Well, there are several episodes, and definitely.
The first one. Hello.
Yep, I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay. It was really when the podcast was still in its infancy.
Right. There are 3 episodes, 49, 50, and 51.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the intersection between spirituality and Team CBT, I don't think you could do better than those episodes where Marilyn had just learned she had stage 4 lung cancer, and she was the most freaked out person I'd ever seen. She had 100 on every single negative emotion on the daily mood log. And at the end, I think they'd all dropped to zero or something near zero. It was pretty incredible. But on with today's work.
Okay.
And thank you, Patty, and all of you who write in with these touching notes. It means a lot to us.
Definitely. Well, Matt, do you want to explain and read the first question?
Yeah, I have to pull that up. And this is a kind of amalgam of different folks who've reached out to me, and there seems to be a trend of folks getting a little bit more lured in by social media and the emotions that come up when we're scrolling. The kids are calling it death scrolling, and contributing to something called brain rot. And oftentimes parents will reach out and want help for their children whom they love. And so I prepared like a little something that I hope people will kind of resonate with and see something in how hard it can be for a parent to watch their child get lured into something that's deeply disturbing to them. And yeah, so I'll just read a little bit. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong.
Or I can read it if you don't have it handy.
Yeah, if you've got it there.
Yeah, my daughter is hooked on social media. She's literally addicted. She has terrible insomnia, low self-esteem, anxiety, hopelessness, depression, anger, and fits of rage when we try to take her phone away. When my daughter's online, she texts things like, "Is this really happening? This can't be happening. OMG, oh my God, this is terrible, how awful. And why am I so unpopular? I'm totally alone. I shouldn't have posted all that stuff. Everyone thinks I'm an idiot. I have to do something to fit in. Everything's hopeless. I give up. Is someone monitoring and recording me? All these creeps are evil and deserve worse than what they're getting." So those are the typical statements that parents might hear from a teen or child who's hooked on social media and getting very, anxious and upset. And the question is that the parents are often asking is, how can I help my daughter? What's the best way to respond? And this is a question that we haven't had one time previously on the podcast. We have had this question 100 times, and it's always a good question to include because people are always asking this question. And essentially the question is, how can I help a loved one or family member or a friend who's upset? And that person could be angry, they could be anxious, panicky, depressed, guilty, ashamed, alone, lonely, or all of the above. And there is a totally awesome answer to that question. And our beloved friend and genius, Dr. Matt May, will now reveal the answer. Da, 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 da.
Thanks, David. Yeah, well, since it's the person who would be receiving the help isn't, talking to me, then I can't help that person. But I could offer a lot of empathy to the mom who's calling me and is herself going through tremendous anxiety and worry for her daughter. And so I usually would just start there, offering empathy and listening to what this has been like to kind of witness her daughter getting sucked into social media, staying up all night. She must be really pulling her hair out. And the And then I would ask if the mom would like some help here. Is there something that she would like my help with? And I'd be happy to work with mom. Or if she thinks her daughter is really interested in getting help, that I would ask the daughter to reach out to me. And I like to set it up that way so I know who I'm helping. Otherwise, it's can get a little confusing, and I feel like I don't have a lever to help someone over there against their will, only to be able to help the person I'm talking to. So that would be part of the answer.
I think those are good guidelines for the therapist, but not for the general public. What the general public would be looking for, and we can certainly answer that, is when I have a child who's coming to me and saying, is this really happening? This can't be happening. This is terrible. Why am I so unpopular? I'm totally alone. How do we help that child? And it's surprisingly similar to the answer that you gave, Matt. But what would the answer be?
Right. Yeah, it's a parallel process here. We as parents would offer kind of the same thing, just to listen and try to understand what their experience is like, what they're feeling, and be curious and admiring, and really appreciate the fact that they're coming to talk to us about it. A lot of times kids just try to do stuff on their own, and the fact that they're coming to a parent, wow, what a privilege as a parent to be able to interact in their life in a meaningful way. So the 5 secrets of effective communication would be one of the skill sets that I would try to bring into my parenting.
Yeah, beautiful. And what would be an error that all parents are going to be overwhelmingly eager to make, and they should avoid that error? What is the thing never to do when a loved one or family member is upset?
Well, Patty, I think, mentioned it earlier. She said, well, why aren't you just giving them the answer or trying to help them or fix them and show them, give them good advice and tell them what to do? And the answer is that will backfire. It will create a lot of resistance if we're trying to help someone against their will without an invitation being accepted. And yeah, I think that's the error you're probably referring to, is a helping error.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? Well, Matt, because you raised invitation, would it be appropriate for a parent to issue the invitation, like after they'd listened and admired and appreciated, to offer an invitation and then respect whatever the answer is that the child or teenager gives them?
I think that's appropriate. I think it can be challenging to know when to issue an invitation. So I often would first try to do some inquiry, to see if I'm getting them and understanding them. First, have I heard them? And if I'm missing the boat, then I don't offer an invitation. I would just try again with more empathy.
And I would suggest we focus on that issue right now, that rather than the complicated issue you're raising. You're raising, Rhonda, because you're assuming they are going to be able to use the 5 secrets, and the fact is they won't be able to. And we can illustrate that right now, because that's the first thing they're going to have to focus on if they want to connect better with their kids. And that's the same that Taylor Chesney told us when she was on our podcast, I don't know, within, I think, the last 6 months, and she was just awesome. But why don't we role play it, and perhaps you could be the mother or the daughter, Rhonda.
Okay. Matt, what role do you want to be? I could be the daughter.
Okay, great.
Or do you want to be the mother, and Matt can be your daughter?
I could do that too.
Okay, let's try that, and then we'll do a role reversal.
Okay, can we give you a name? Just like, how about Tina?
Okay, so I'm Tina, the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could start with I'm just sort of crying in my room. You can hear me crying in my room, and then if we have a conversation, I say, I can't believe this can't be happening. Like, I am so unpopular. Nobody likes me. I'm totally alone.
Oh, Tina, that sounds so painful Can you tell me more about what you're feeling and thinking?
And then what grade do you give yourself?
Are we done already?
Well, that's how the exercise goes. But if you want, we can try some other form of training that you have in mind, and maybe spell it out for us, what you'd like us to be doing.
No, I thought there was going to be more of a dialogue. Okay.
We can do a dialogue if you're preparing.
No. Well, I didn't go through all the 5 secrets. I just did a sort of shortened version of feeling empathy and inquiry. So because I didn't do all the 5 secrets, I failed. I'd give myself an F.
I thought it was a much higher score. I was ready to keep going, but I like pausing for feedback at regular intervals.
Okay.
The only thing I would have wished for a little bit more of was a kind of thought empathy, like, let me make sure I'm getting it right. So
okay.
You're feeling like you're just completely unpopular. You're feeling totally alone. Just to repeat back some more of my words.
Okay.
Would have been helpful. And something like, I'm just so glad you're coming to me to talk about this, and I care so much about you. And but your tone, Rhonda, was so welcoming and caring that I was giving you a pretty high score just based off of that. I could tell you were safe to talk to. You weren't judgy or anything like that.
I just have a little acronym here. The I feel statements are great to include on the parent side. The stroking is great to include. The disarming is great to include. We can try a role reversal if you like, and you can be the kid, Rhonda, and let Matt be your mom or dad or whatever.
Okay.
But the acronym I was going to give, if I can remember what each of them stands for, but is do not preach. And the P would be, don't problem solve. Don't try to help your child solve a problem. What is the R? I know the C is cheerleading, H is helping, REA. Well, rescue. R is rescue. Yeah. And what would E be? Cheerlead, help. Let's see. It'll come to me later, but avoid anything to be helpful and stick with discipline to the 5 secrets. And if you're listening to the podcast and want to learn how to help not only a kid or a parent who's upset or a friend who's upset, the 5 secrets is the way to go. So let's see if we can reverse the role and illustrate them. But you actually made an excellent first shot at it, Rhonda, especially since you were thinking about some, longer kind of dialogue type of thing.
Okay. Well, Matt, you're my father coming in, and I'm in my bedroom crying. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at all these emails, all these texts that I sent. I can't really believe that I've sent all these texts to my friends. I'm so embarrassed about some of the things I've said to them. Everybody thinks I'm such an idiot, and I've given them a lot of good reasons to think that.
And you're Tina. So, Tina, I'm really feeling for you. That's such a hard place to be in right now. You're feeling so embarrassed and upset that you sent those emails, and you're feeling kind of angry at yourself, I'm imagining, and hurt by this experience. I'm really, really sad that you're going through it, but I'm also so glad to be your dad and to be able to be here with you and to talk about it. I'd love to hear more what that's been like for you. How are you feeling right now?
So what grade? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I would give myself a B.
Okay. Okay. And then why did you give yourself a B?
I was feeling a little kind of distracted or something in the role play, and I thought I wasn't quite as attentive and present with her as I would have liked to have been, or have just maybe said more of my feelings of concern and caring for her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. What grade did you give it, Rhonda?
I hate to give Matt anything less than an A, but I'd give it a B also.
Yeah. It's good. We're getting warmed up here.
Yeah. I loved when you said, I'm feeling for you.
Although that's not an I feel statement, is it?
No, because there's no feeling involved. It just, when you said you're feeling embarrassed and upset and angry at yourself, I just thought, well, yeah, that's what I mean, it just felt sort of pat.
Yeah.
I hate saying that.
Yeah, that's good feedback. So not enough of the feeling empathy and I feel statements would be part of the feedback.
Yeah, thought empathy would have been really good. Disarming would have been really good too, and stroking would have been really good. And the what's it been like for you is kind of formulaic. You could have told her to tell you what you wanted her to tell you about. Can you tell me, what you put in the texts, and tell me about your feelings. Also, she's probably feeling angry at herself, and that wasn't mentioned either. But let's do one more role reversal here. Is this useful learning for people? Do you think?
Yeah.
In math?
Yes. Yes. Do you want to do it, David, or should I go back?
Well,
and do it again?
I'll do it. I'll be the teen, and
you'll be the teen.
The teen, yeah, TEEN.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm aged now, so I'll be a teenager. A teenager.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm so embarrassed. I sent out all these emails, and I think I told too much about myself and how angry and upset I've been, and I think I made a total fool of myself, and I'm sure everyone thinks I'm a super idiot or nerd now, and I think I've really screwed myself socially. So I've been afraid that when I tell my folks that you wouldn't say anything.
But
I don't know who's playing.
I don't know who's playing the parent.
I kind of lost track of who was in the role. But
I'll do it. Can I do it, Matt?
Yeah.
So, wow, that sounds like a really tough situation. Let me make sure I understand what happened, David. So you just told me that you sent out a bunch of emails to your I don't know who you sent them to. Who'd you send them to? Like a bunch of different friends? And
yeah, and multiples to some of them too. Like,
oh gosh. Yeah. And what you told me was that you told too much of the emails, and you told your friends that you were angry and upset, and that you're thinking that you made a total fool of yourself, and that people think you're kind of a jerk or a nerd. And I'm feeling so much love for you. And, I really appreciate that you're sharing this with me. And, you, my son, you're the most important person in the world to me. And I love you so much. You might not want to hear that right now, because I'm imagining, like you told me, you're feeling embarrassed. I'm imagining you're feeling angry at yourself and regret about what you did and confusion about how to clear it up. And I'm feeling, just like I said, love and sympathy towards you. And I'm wondering if you could tell me, if you want to tell me a little bit more specifically about what you said in your emails, or if there's anything else you want to tell me about what this experience has been like for you.
Okay. And what would you grade that, Rhonda?
Well, I think I didn't include a disarm, so that's automatically can't be an A. So I guess I'd give myself a B plus. I did flounder for a few words, but maybe that's typical in the moment. So I'd give myself a B plus.
Okay. What did you give it, Matt?
I really liked it. I was going A, maybe A plus even. I thought it was fantastic. I would have wanted to continue that conversation with Rhonda.
Really?
Yeah. I'm curious what you thought, David.
I would have given it, like, I think an A minus. One thing, when you repeat yourself, it's generally because you're nervous.
Right.
And you lose. You said, I'm feeling love. I so much appreciate what you said. I'm feeling love and sympathy. And I'm starting to think, yeah,
She's like, shut up already.
yeah. I might have, said something like, I've probably done a lot of things myself when I was young, and now that I'm older, I'm doing even more stupid things. I know how embarrassing and humiliating that can be, and maybe you're even feeling angry at yourself. But I love you so much and appreciate your coming to talk to me. And then at the end you said, "Do you want to tell me more?" I would never say that, because then they might say, "No, I don't." And it sounds like you're not convinced you want to hear more. I would say I so much appreciate what you're telling me, and I'd love to hear the details. What was the problem you were, responding to with the emails, and what are some of the things you said that you thought were kind of foolish and silly, or and by the way, I called myself an idiot, and you didn't use that word, Rhonda.
Right. Yeah. I didn't take very good notes. I wrote down nerd, and I knew you said something.
Well, nerd was one of them, but the other,
right.
You was a jerk and a nerd, and
yeah,
an idiot and a nerd.
Yeah, that was bad note taking.
But to get more into the media, into the meat of it, but I thought you showed an openness and a warmth and a softness that would be, very, very important. And I think that's why Matt gave it an A or an A plus, because there was the tone was right. We have a lot of other questions to get on to, but if let's say someone listening to our show would genuinely want to learn how to do this, what are the how would they do this exercise, Matt or Rhonda, just to summarize it? And you don't have to be a parent. It can be anyone who wants to learn how to respond to someone who's hurting. It could be your patient is hurting, or your loved one is hurting, or a friend is hurting. And the first person I ever heard who was great at this was Sterling Morey, and that's why I wrote about him in my first book, Feeling Good. But what is the exercise that our users could do if they wanted to get really good at the 5 secrets? They can read Feeling Good together and do the written exercises, but if they want to do the verbal exercise, what are the steps?
Well, you always give a good reminder, David, that one of the first steps is to park our ego at the door and be ready to fail, and that's the best thing we can do, and to learn from failure, and just to have one person say something kind of challenging that you'd like some help responding to, and then make your best effort to respond. It's often nice to have a list of the 5 secrets next to you, if you're getting stuck, to refer back to, and then pause to give a couple levels of feedback. What grade did you get? Which of the 5 secrets did you do, and which got avoided or were done poorly? And then overall, what did you like and dislike about what you said? And then give it another try right after that. And to keep doing that until you feel really confident in what you would say in real life. And then you're pretty much you're set up better to go and have the real conversation because you're less nervous about it.
Right. Now, I have one other kind of exciting announcement is that I asked Jason Mino, who was at the time doing our AI programming, to create a love bot that would practice with people who want to learn the 5 secrets. So just as we're acting as each other's practice partners, you could use the let the AI be your practice partner. And by the way, if you haven't downloaded the AI, I have I can't imagine why, because we've made it free all summer. And I don't know if it'll still be free at the time of hearing this podcast, but I suspect it probably will be. But jump on it, and I'll try to remember to put in the show notes the instructions for once you've downloaded the Feeling Great app, then how you get to that love bot so you can begin practicing if you really want to learn the 5 secrets. And the last question is, why are we spending so much time on the 5 secrets? Why might our users be interested or not interested in learning how to use the 5 secrets? Because it's not easy. It takes tremendous commitment. It takes, as you say, Beth, the willingness to experience the death of yourself, the death of your ego, and that you have to fail over and over again, like learning to play the piano. It won't sound really good at first. So what would it be worth to some of our users to practice with the 5 secret? What's in it for anyone to learn to do this? Because even if you have the bot, well, the bot will do all kinds of things for you. By the way, the Feeling Great app will treat your depression and anxiety. It's not a therapy; it's a self-help tool, but it can help you in many ways. But why should anyone give a damn about the 5 secrets of effective communication?
Because they're an avenue for closer relationships. They will allow you to have closer relationships. I know that I have a closer relationship with my children, for example, because I use the 5 secrets with them when we have had conflict or even just challenges in our lives and our relationships. It'll also give you confidence that any situation that occurs with you and any other human being that you'll be able to respond to, because you'll have this outline for how to speak without being defensive or without attacking, and be able to listen and hear what other people say. So it's an avenue for closeness, and it provides confidence for resolving whatever issues come up.
Now, I have one last question. When we demonstrate the 5 secrets skillfully, it's pretty impressive how it can bring people closer together in an almost miraculous way. So does everyone in the world want to learn how to do this so we can all, have more loving relationships?
I wish. No,
there's tremendous resistance. And in a way, that's a reason to practice with it, because as you practice with it, it kind of compels you to actually enter a slightly different mindset. But our I think a lot of our instinctive drives are to protect our in-group and be angry with the out-group rather than want to connect. And so if that resistance, if we're really blaming someone else, we're not going to want to get close to them. And so we would want to address that within ourselves first, and understand, why do we want to blame and what's appealing about that. And David, your list of 31 reasons to blame is really helpful to just kind of jog our memory sometime that there can be really powerful and compelling reasons to not to want to get close to someone. Yeah,
right. In fact, I think if you want to simplify things, which is always helpful and always dangerous, you could think that there's two ways to relate right now, and we see them going on in politics and in life in general. And one style is when somebody disagrees with you you decide that you want to punish them and put them down and call them names and try to make the world think that person is less than human. And that's a very popular way of relating, and it can bring you power. It makes you feel morally superior. It can kind of be exciting. I call that the kick-ass approach to life and to human relationships. And then the other way has been espoused and promoted by, spiritual leaders of, all religions, going back to Abraham and Moses and Jesus and the Buddha and perhaps Muhammad, I would imagine. But that all the side of life that's dedicated to peace, to connection, to loving relationships. And the 5 secrets are definitely on the side of the loving, wanting greater loving relationships rather than to dominate and control and punish and exploit other people. But it's a huge struggle, and we all have both of those urges within ourselves. And sometimes in history, the lower forces, the darker forces, have prevailed and plunged the world into world war and hatred, thinking that somehow, if we have enough explosive power, somehow we'll solve our problems. And it seems that there's a huge push in that direction in the world right now. And I personally find it frightening and explosively anger triggering as well.
Yeah, one of the last thoughts listed is, I think, one of those kick-ass type of ideas. All those creeps are evil and deserve worse than what they're getting. That there's this tendency to project all the badness over there and imagine all the goodness is here. And I'm not a biblical scholar or anything, but I kind of liked that quote. Try to manage the beam in your own eye before pointing out the mote in someone else's, to try to understand. Search within, and like you were saying, Gandhi, I think, said, become the change that you want to see in the world. Become love. If you want a more loving world, become love. So we've got a lot of good guides, but it's never been a super popular path to follow.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot in the Old and New Testament about that for when you blame others, you condemn yourself is one of them.
Right.
In addition to that mote in the eye, I never did understand that mote in the eye. I don't even know what a mote is. But
a small piece of dust. He's saying like if you're blaming someone else, you're pointing out a small piece of dust in their eye, but you've got a big piece of wood in your eye. Deal with that first.
I see. Yeah. And we all know how much it sucks to find a piece of wood in your eye.
Right.
But anyway, that's the kind of philosophical and spiritual implication of what we're talking about today. And I think this would be enough for one podcast, Rhonda. And should we go on to the next podcast?
Okay, let's say goodbye.
Okay, so goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, David and Rhonda, for having me.
Yeah, thanks for the provocative question, Matt.
My pleasure.
This has been another episode of the Feeling Good podcast. For more information, visit Dr. Burns' website at feelinggood.com, where you will find the show notes under the podcast page. You will also find archives of previous episodes and many resources for therapists and non-therapists. We welcome your comments and questions. If you want to support the show, please share the podcast with people who might benefit from it. You could also go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. I am your host, Rhonda Borowski, the director of the Feeling Great Therapy Center. We hope you enjoyed this episode. I invite you to join us next time for another episode of the Feeling Good podcast.